All right. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends here on Happy Canada Day, June 1st, June 1st. And today is Thursday. Hopefully everybody's having themselves a good start to their day. And welcome to the Raymond Report. My name is Ron Raymond. I'm a 5-time sports handicapping champion. Been doing this in the industry now since 1996. My first... Oh. Okay, where's that coming from? Oh, a little bit of feedback there. Oh. All right, there we go. We'll get that straightened out. But again, so welcome to the site, guys. And every Thursday we do a live stream here on our YouTube channel. And starting the middle of August, we're going to go on Thursdays and Fridays. We're going to talk about college football on a Thursday. And then we're going to go right into the NFL on a Friday, which we call Football Friday. And we break down all the games. And hopefully we can get you some winners. And the community is very active in the bullpen. And come football season, everybody loves football season. We all break down the games. And for our Canadian friends, especially on a day like today, on Canada Day, we will talk some CFL football, which will also get going. In fact, training camp here for Ottawa, the Ottawa Red Blacks, will be starting in maybe 10 days. I know Winnipeg's starting in 10 days or something like that. So August 5th is the kickoff of the Canadian Football League. And then that's going to right into the NFL preseason and college football at the end of the month of August, and we will talk about some of those games. All right, also, don't forget, starting today, July 1st, we are doing our 30 Tips in 30 Days, Dog Days of Summer Series, and if you go to the website at the YouTube channel, The Raymond Report, you'll see that I've already listed the first tip of the day, and the first tip is the Silver Bullet Game of the Day of the week in college football or NFL. And if you go to the website, there's about, a 5-minute video or so on the how to be careful and how to not get trapped into that first game on the Nevada rotation or the offshore rotation. And it's a pretty good tip. In fact, doing all the scripts, all the things are done. Now I'm doing the videos. I'm up to number 7 now in the videos, and I'm releasing them as I go. And each day, one video is being released at 8 a.m. each morning. So if you head on to the YouTube channel each and every day, you will notice that the tips are all listed there in the morning. All right, there goes my phone. It wouldn't be a show if my phone didn't go off, right? For some reason, it always that tab always goes down, right? Folks, also, if you are interested in the Raymond Report, I'm running a 20% off discount right now. If you use football promo code Football 2021, that's capital F, Football 2021, and you can get 20% off your regular membership, and that is a monthly or yearly package. And hopefully for the NFL and college football season, we can help you with your sports handicapping needs. Speaking of football, don't forget the World Series of Handicapping. In fact, if you go to worldseriesofhandicapping.com, we run our contest each and every year. We are now in season number 10. And can't wait for this one. I know a lot of people can't wait. And we have up the ante this year. Our grand prize is $1,500. Also, you get the ring, the World Series of Handicapping ring. Second place is $750, and third place is $500. If you go to contest rules, you can see all the prizes. And there's that beautiful ring that Steel City Sports won last year. In fact, I think his name was Frank. Let me go to the last winner here. And, Frank Browning, Steel City Madman. He was our winner last year. He went 72 and 42 and 5 for 94 units. You can see he's sporting his new World Series of Handicapping 9-number ring. Ring. It sounds like Elmer Fudd right there. But, if you do have a good year and your football picks come through, you will receive the World Series of Handicapping ring, which we give out each and every year along with a cash prize. This year is going to be $1,500. And the best part about this contest, it's only $25 to join. That's right. You only spend $25 and you're in the contest. A lot of people have a couple entries, so gives themselves a couple of more tries in case you want to put some entries in. And the nice thing about this contest is that if you go 7-0 anytime during the contest week, you get $50 cash back. And so if you pay $25, You get your entry fee back, and you get $25 to boot just by going perfect 7-0. And the way the rules work is you got to make 7 selections a week. And if I just scroll right down here, so you make 7 selections each week, and you rate those selections 1 unit to 7 units, 7 being your strongest play. And the player with the most amount of units at the end of the season wins the World Series of Handicapping Championship, and that is the $1,500 prize and the World Series of Handicapping ring. And you can sign up today at worldseriesofhandicapping.com. All right, let's go back to ATS stats. And there we go. And we're going to talk about, I always like to do the horse racing. I know we have a lot of horse racing fans here. And I know Belmont is the the free tip sheet today. And I always like to start off with horse racing. That's the foundation of sports betting, is horse racing. So it is now 105. Let's go to race number 4. Now we'll get a good one here. Let me see. Oh, here's a nice long shot. Let me see. I want a good driver here. Let me see if I can find. There's a good one here. All right, race 7. Let's go to race 7 today at Belmont. Oh, nice purse too. We got a $72,000 claiming race. 4:08 post time at Belmont today. The distance is 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. In fact, I created a new word this morning. Turf and dirt. Turt. Hey, if you watched my video this morning, I was talking about the turt instead of the turf, which is dirt. But race number 7 today at Belmont. The number 4, Happy Farm. Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to be on the 4-horse. 9-5 morning line here on the Happy Farm. And the number 6, Town Classic with Irad's younger brother, Jose Ortiz. 41% in the money. Last 100 races, 2-1 morning line. And Manny Franco, the number 5 horse, Clench. 5-1 morning line on Clench. And we're going to go 4-6-5 in race number 1. And your long shot today at Belmont in race number 7 is the 3-horse Musical America, with Joel Rosario taking a ride here on Musical America, a 8-1 morning line. All right, and if you're going to play an exacta in race number 7, I recommend 4-6, 6-5, 5-3 exacta box. And if you're going to go trifecta, 4-6-5, 3-6-5 trifecta box. Always remember to box those horses. And if you're going to do the 3-horse, the Joker selection, always recommend the double Dutch system. And that is, if you're going to take the number 3 and you have a $20 budget, put 10 to win, 10 to place on the 3-horse, Musical America. And this way he comes in second. You get some of that money back. All right, let's break down some of the games. In fact, the NHL, it's been a good series so far. Last night, it's just Tampa Bay. When a team is just a step ahead of you and a step better and things go their way. Montreal was in that game last night. It was 1-1 until 0.3 seconds left on the board. And Tampa Bay, that's what they do to you. They just break your heart. And they scored with less than a second left to go in the second period. And that broke their back right there, right? And now they came in. And if you watched my video yesterday, I said it looked like I thought the score would be 3-0, 3-1. And exactly, it landed on 3-1. So, it was really good. Are you playing a pick 6 force out on the 4th of July at Pimlico? Big chance of money piles. No, I didn't know about that, Matt. So I appreciate you letting me know that. So Matthew's saying, are you playing the pick 6 force out on the 4th of July? So on the Independence Day in the States at Pimlico, big chance at money piles. So I will have to look at that. And I appreciate you posting that, Matthew. And again, if you are a horse racing fan, don't forget, get our free horse racing tip sheet today at atsstats.com. It's the free tip sheet is Belmont Park. And so going back to that hockey game last night, now it's 2-0 Tampa Bay. They're going back to Montreal. Unfortunately, the government of Quebec are not allowing, they wanted to get at least 10,000 fans in there, but they're only sticking to 3,500. So they won't have that extra energy of fans in the stands. But 35 could be allowed at the Bell Center. And Montreal, that game number 3, that's a big one, right? They got to win that game number 3 because they don't want to fall behind 3-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, hey, Montreal wins that game tomorrow night, then you got yourself a series again, right? You get back into the series. But, again, when you're facing Vasilevsky, see the difference between Vasilevsky and Price right now. Vazzy doesn't have many bad nights. And, this is a tough spot for Montreal. If had the games been the first 2 games been in Montreal, maybe we're talking a bit 1-1 here or but going back to Montreal at the Bell Center, it's going to be a tough road for Montreal, and they're going to have to find some goal scoring, right? You can't win every game 1-0, and the Habs, the forwards missing in action right now that got to step up and really get some pucks on net and get those garbage goals, right? Get those tip-ins, get those second, third rebounds in, and we'll see if Montreal can make a series out of it. All right, let's go to the NBA tonight. And speaking of series, this is going to be an interesting matchup here. I talked about this in my video this morning. I release a NBA video each and every day, along with the NHL and Major League Baseball. And what we're going to do is talk about look at the line now. The line's at -3. So the line opened up here. I got, let me see if I don't think you guys can see this, but when I click on that, I get the line movement. And the line opened up at -1.5. It went to 2, and it's now at 3 for Milwaukee. Again, when you are handicapping the NBA right now, or any playoff sports, to me, analytics play a minimal role. It's about momentum. It's about your best players. Your best players got to be your best players on every given night, right? And when you got superstars or you got high quality skilled athletes, they're supposed to dominate in these situations, right? And if you look at what happened to the Clippers last night, their top players didn't show up, right? Paul George, you can't just come in one game and then lose, say bye for 2 games, and you got the best players got to be your best players every night. And so far, now tonight, what's going to be interesting is you got the 2 best players in this series are out, right? Giannis is out and Trae Young is out. So now it comes up to the supporting cast and which one of these 2 teams have the best supporting cast. And when I see a line of -3 right now and it opened up at -1.5, basically the bookmakers are telling you pick them. Like you can flip a quarter in this one. And the computer forecast at the Raymond Report is leaning with the Hawks here, 109 to 105. The over/under at 214.91. And looking at the Bucks, the last 10 games, they're 6-4 straight up, 5-4-1 against the number, 2-7-1 to the under. And looking at the Atlanta Hawks in their last 10 games, 5-5 straight up and against the point spread, and 2-8 to the under. So you combine that together, that's 4-15-1 to the under. And when I look at my line on the game here tonight, I had the Bucks at -5.85, and you can see the bookmakers right there at 3, so he's giving you a bit of a discount. But again, to me, this line opened up at 1.5. The public is betting it up to 3, or maybe some sharp money came in here. And to me, this is a pick'em line. When I see anything 3 or lower in the NBA, it's basically telling you it's a pick'em line. Money line is, if you're going to play the Hawks, obviously take the +3. If you're going to play Milwaukee, take the money line. Don't even bother laying 3 because, why sweat out the last, why sweat out the last minute if it comes down to free throws and just, foul, game of foul, right? So looking at the Vegas index here, -5, 81% chance though of winning tonight for Milwaukee, compared to 29.6 for the Atlanta Hawks. Now the chance of covering the spread here in the Raymond Report this is all based on the percentage play. I had a good question yesterday. Somebody asked me, how come the forecast says this, but the chance of covering goes the other way? This is based, the COC, the chance of covering, it's all based on teams getting back to 500, right? And it's about the percentage play. The more a team wins, the lower the percentage play is going to be. The more the team loses, the higher that percentage play of them winning. What goes up must come down, right? And the higher you go up, the chance of coming down increases, and that's why you're seeing 55 to 43% favoring Atlanta this evening. And your Kogo, again, a lot of low-scoring games in this series. That's why the Kogo, the chance of this game going over the total tonight, is at 75%. Last 3 games between these 2 teams have gone under the total, and that's why your Kogo is at 75%. Again, it all boils down to the percentage play, and it's not Milwaukee against Atlanta. It's your number against the bookmaker's number, and you got to figure out what do you think the number should be. In fact, I have this other tool here at atscalculator.com, and I'm going to bring it over here in this window. I'm just going to open up on this one, and I'm going to show you guys what I think the line should be here tonight on this game. And to me, this if you ever use the ATS calculator, it's pretty accurate. It tells you, it doesn't to the pinpoint to the right to the down to the number, but it gives you a good ballpark figure on what the line from my old saying of perception versus reality. And this here is a great number, what reality really should be looking like, right? So let's go here. Let's go Atlanta, and let's go Milwaukee. And I'm hoping you guys can see that. And let's create the results. And survey says, so we have the home team winning by 5. And if you look at my value number, I had it at 5.85. Calculator has it at what? 5.3. And there's the total, 223.9. And the total tonight is 215. So the ATS calculator likes it to go over the total. And but keep in mind, now here's where you have to factor in no Giannis and no Trae Young, right? So somebody asked me the other day, does the Raymond Report, does it factor in the key players? And the answer in the short term is no, because the line will always adjust to the situation at hand, right? So this line tells me that there's no Giannis in the lineup tonight. If Giannis is in the lineup tonight, then the line is this, right? It's 8.5, it's 7.5. But when there's no Giannis, that's what happens. The line will always adjust, and that's why it's important. I always say the line will tell you what's going on. No matter what, the line, this is, my good friend Ross Benjamin taught me this a long time ago. He goes, no matter what happens, the line will tell you what's going on. If a key injury or a key player is not in the lineup, you won't even have to look at an injury report. The line will tell you, right? So if you didn't know the news tonight that Giannis was out, and you saw the line at 3, your first instinct would be, okay, I guess there's no Giannis tonight, right? And that's, always follow the line. The line will always tell you. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, when they faced the Atlanta Hawks at home this season, or not home, when the Milwaukee Bucks face a team like the Atlanta Hawks that are 50 to 59.9% in the standings, so the B-type teams in the Raymond Report, they're 10-6 straight up, 8-8 against the number, 10-6 to the over. And when the Hawks are on the road against those A-type teams, 6-9 straight up and against the point spread, and 7-8 to the under. But again, when it comes to analytics in the playoffs, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And to me, it's all about momentum. And there's sometimes you can't really explain situational handicapping, like the way the Atlanta Hawks have been playing in the playoffs. I don't know how you explain that. They're just they defy all odds. And when you think they're out, they always come back and find a way to get that win or that W, right? It's really, you got to have a sixth sense to really recognize those things, because you just don't know. Like Montreal Canadiens, same thing with the Montreal Canadiens, right? Who would have thought they would have been beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? They were down 3-1, they win the series 4-3. They go to Winnipeg, you thought it'd be a good series, they sweep them in 4. And then they beat Vegas. Vegas was a heavy favorite in that series, and Montreal just comes out of nowhere and beats them, right? And the same situation. Now, I knew this Atlanta team was good this year, because if you recall in the first third and fourth game, or so the third and fourth and fifth game. Anyways, I'll bring it up here. When you recall when at the beginning of the year, when Atlanta played Brooklyn in that 2-game series, and the first game was 145-141, that's when I knew Atlanta would be good this year. Because the Brooklyn Nets, the team of what money can buy you, was playing the Atlanta Hawks, a team that had a lot of young guns. Was Rondo there at the time? I think he was, right? And so they had all these young studs, and everybody thought that Brooklyn would manhandle them. And you know what? It was a close game in the first one, and then Atlanta won the second game, and that's when I knew this would be a good Atlanta Hawks team right there. And speaking of the Atlanta Hawks, when they're on the road against an opponent on 1 day's rest, and they're a pick on the +3 road dog, 6-1 straight up and against the numbers. So the Atlanta Hawks, you give them 1 day's rest, and you got them basically at a pick and price. They'll pick you apart in the next game, because they're 6-1 straight up and against the point spread. All right, folks, don't forget, you can always chat with me here in the bullpen. Just post your comments. If you have a question, I'll answer it. And all you do is got to chat and post something. And again, welcome to the Raymond Report. I'm here live every Thursday, and starting at the middle of August, I'll be Thursdays and Fridays, and hopefully we could help you guys out with your college football and your NFL and CFL for our Canadian fans who watch north or the border. All right, taking a look at some of the analytics here on this game, Atlanta and Milwaukee and Atlanta. Again, that's my huge bounce back night for Isaiah. What do you mean by that, Isaiah? Did you have a bad night last night? Hey, there's our good friend from Minnesota. So always interested to see what Isaiah is up to. All right, we'll go to Major League Baseball. Now we got some of the early games today. Now where's my sheet? So the Angels are playing the Yankees at 1:05. That game started. Seattle taking on Toronto. Watching that game right now. It's 2-0 for the Mariners. And I had the under in that game. Let's hope Hyun-Jin Ryu can get his shirt together here, because 2-0. I was expecting still early to say, right? Kansas City taking on Boston, and then you got Minnesota, Chicago. 8-2 hit Mariners and parlay with White Sox, Oakland over, and Lightning. No, I had a great night. Oh, awesome. All right, so you went 8-2. Huge bounce. Well, so you bounced back last night. Nice. Hit with the Mariners and parlay with the White. Yeah, you got lucky with the Mariners. They won in extra innings. Yeah, White Sox, they were down early, but they came back and they put a number. Oakland, over. I think I forget what the final score was, that one. And Lightning, yeah, Tampa Bay. Yeah, good job. Good job for Isaiah. All right, let's get to let's go to the 2 o'clock game, since the other games are already underway. If you're watching today, welcome to the site. Always, hey, there's Ray. Hey, Pedro Noguera. I've always listened to your show. Do you ever consider doing a course on how to handicap it? Yeah, you know what? I've considered doing a course. You mean like an online course and just put online and people? I'd rather do like a weekend conference or weekend seminar. But the thing is, I'm so when it comes to minor details that I don't, I need to be prepared, and I like to be, as a football coach, I always like to put my ducks in a row. And if I'm going to do something like that, it has to be with quality, and it has to be done right? So, yeah, I do, Rui Pedro Noguera, I do expect to do it eventually down the road. And actually, there's a guy on YouTube who contacted me, something about doing something like that. But the thing is, when you start doing stuff with those, guys like that, and not in a bad way, it's about time. It's about timing, right? So it takes up a lot of time. And, yeah. Hey, paying a course. Rui, what happened to Portugal? That's all I want to know. What happened to our team Portugal? My brother-in-law is not too happy right now. I had Germany and France and as my futures ticket, so I'm not too happy. But the Euro, hey, who's going to win the Euro right now? The Euro's up for grabs. If I was to put money on, I think Italy would be a good. I think Italy might be a good bet right now, but we'll see, right? I'm your client, of course, but I would like to learn more and more. Yeah, you know what? Again, let me ponder on that, and maybe it's all about time, right? And now that we're getting into football season, it's getting really tough. But the best thing though, Rui, is to watch these shows and the tips that I'm releasing on the website. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, if you go to our website at on the Raymond Report on our YouTube channel for the next 30 days, so the Dog Days of Summer series is what I'm calling it. And what I'm doing is I'm releasing one tip a day, and it's it's every morning at 8 a.m. I'm releasing one video tip, and they're pretty fun to do. They're pretty interesting, and I spent the month of May and June just researching those tips. So it's not a tip that I'm taking out of a bag here or throwing a dart. These are all well thought out tips, and they come with reasoning and a lot of work behind it. So again, it's to help you guys with your heading into the NFL and college football season. I think there'll be a lot of good information there for you guys, and to help you win, and getting this YouTube channel up. So this way, when we come to the football season, we got a good community of people, and who knows, down the road, once we get this COVID crap out of the way, we can get together at a conference somewhere, maybe in Vegas or something, right? Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? All right, I just saw the silver bullet tip, found it very interesting. Yeah, you know what? That's one of my best tips, the silver bullet one. Yeah, and if you haven't, so what Isaiah is talking about, on a busy football Saturday, especially college football Saturday, and like I said in my video, you won't probably see it week 1 or 2, maybe week 3 or 4. The books and you think when they come out with that schedule, that rotation, that it's just they just put it together and just throw it up there. It comes with a with thoughts in mind, right? It's a well executed game plan, and what they try to do is put the weakest game on top, thinking, well, you think it's weak, and that you're gonna take the trap, you're gonna take the bait, and you're gonna take that trap game at the top, and you're gonna think, oh, you know what? The example I gave in the silver bullet was in 2019 when Wisconsin was playing Northwestern, and Wisconsin was a 22-point favorite, and I think they won the game like 25-19, but they didn't cover the 22-point spread. But the bookmakers wanted you to bite on that big public Big Ten team like Wisconsin, the big old Badgers taking on those Wildcats, and sure enough, they kept it within the score, and the Northwestern covered the spread, and that's how they kill your parlay, right? Because think about this. On a very busy college football Saturday, when a lot of people are betting the games, and a lot of novice, hey, you just need one lucky rabbit's foot, and next thing you know, you've hit a 10-team parlay, right? And the bookmakers know that, and the first instinct the novice gambler will do is to look at that first game and say, oh, Northwestern, Wisconsin, oh, Wisconsin's going to kill them. And then, boom, there's a silver bullet. That's the game where it crushes your parlay, and then this way they don't have to worry about that ticket, right? Because you got a 6, 8, 10-team teamer, and people are putting like $500, $1,000 on a 10-team teamer, and it pays out like say a couple of $50,000 to $100,000, and you got a couple of people on those. But if you can kill that first game on the board, and with what I call the silver bullet pick, game of the week, and that way it crushes your parlay, and then next thing you know, you're throwing that ticket away, and it makes them very happy, right? Doesn't make you happy, makes the book happy because they don't have to pay you out. All right, that is the silver bullet tip number 1. And if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see that I have a lot of other tips there, and I'm just going to catch up here on my my reading. So I've always listened to your show. Only bet NBA, NHL, soccer, of course. Oakland money line over was a typo. Payne, of course, I'm your client. Yeah, just saw the silver bullet. Euro is like the NBA. How would you figure that Atlanta is in the position? Some favorites teams are now on vacation. It's like Portugal, France, and Germany. That's 3. Hey, in any given year, that's one of those 3 teams are winning the Euro, right? Portugal, France, or Germany. Especially when you got a team like Portugal, you got Ronaldo on there, and Germans are always very defensive minded. I always tell my brother-in-law when I bet on Germany, I always expect a 1-0 game. They get that 1-goal lead and then they sit on it, right? But that's the Germany, very defensive mind team, but not this year. Count me in, he says, for the conference. Yeah, I would love that. I was starting to think books give freebies sometimes. There is a method to their line. Yeah. Oh, of course. Hey, Isaiah says, I was starting to think that books, sportsbook, give out freebies sometimes. There's a method to their madness for sure. Because if it was tough every day and they didn't soften those lines up and then they crush you, that's why I always think that the beginning of NFL and college football season, the first 2 weeks of football is always the best because I feel you're equal with the sports books because nobody has a clue who's who in the zoo yet, right? Especially in college football. Like last year, Northwestern. Who would have thought Northwestern would have the season that they had, right? And you got to find that Northwestern team this year. And starting next week, I'm going to bring out now that the NHL will be done and the NBA will probably be over, I'm going to starting next Thursday, I'm going to start talking about, we'll go through the season totals and we'll go by conference. So maybe next week I'll start with, say, like the SEC or the Big Ten and NFL. And we'll start getting into some football, right? But let's get back to this one. And let's see, Minnesota taking on the White Sox. Now, looking at this game, you got 2 good pitchers here, right? You got Carlos Rodon going for the White Sox. And when you look at Rodon on the year, he's 6-3 with an ERA at 2.06. And you got Jose Barrios. Now, Barrios is 7-2, 3.41 ERA, but he's on a bad baseball team right now. But let me see. In the last 10 games, they're 6-4, 8-7. So they're playing a little bit better, but they're still not a good team at 33-45. And looking at today's game, Barrios, when he starts for Minnesota, they're 10-6 in his starts. And when Rodon starts for the Chicago White Sox, they're 9-5 in Rodon starts. But look at this, 10-4 to the under. Now, you see these 2 pitchers, your first instinct is what? You're probably the under, right? Because you got 2 pretty good pitchers here going. But I'd be very careful. In fact, when I look at this lineup here and I look at the starting pitching, I always love to look at the starting pitching. And let me see. Oh, the Yankee game was postponed. Okay, didn't know that. Let me go to Jose Barrios. Now, when I look at Barrios on the road this season, he's got a pretty good whip. He's got a 0.97 whip, but a 3.02 ERA, and he's 3-1 on the road this year. Strikeouts to 9 innings pitch, 8.3, and he walks 2 2 batters per 9. So, not bad at all. And then you got Carlos Rodon at home this year when Rodon's pitching at guaranteed rate field, an ERA of 2.45 and another whip of 0.87. And that's why I like the under a bit here today in Minnesota and Chicago. But what's the Kogo at? Kogo's at 23, so there, the percentage play does favor it. And they're coming off a big high-scoring night, and I think this might be a good spot here to the under today between the White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Now, when the White Sox are at home against a team below 500, they are 19-6 straight up and 11-14 to the under. And Chicago White Sox at home this year, pretty good record, pretty good home record. They are 31-13 with 17-26-1 angle to the under. So a pretty good angle to the under here today between the White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Looking at the game straight up, though, I don't know. I just don't know if Rodon, like I look at his last couple outings, and let me see here. So last game, so he hasn't had a decision in 3 starts. So the last time he won a game was June 13th. He's only got 1 decision in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's in the last 8 starts, he's only got 1 win. That concerns me a bit. I think there's value here on Minnesota. Betting White Sox again. Don't trust Twins. Isaiah says White Sox coming off a bad cycle before this current streak. Yeah, it's like Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay and Houston. Like Houston right now, they went on that tear in June. And then Baltimore comes to town and just took him to the woodshed, right? That's what I call the woodshed series. They took him right behind the woodshed, and the Houston Astros, they're just happy to get out of Dodge right now and not facing Baltimore because they're on a 4-game losing streak right now, the Astros? Yeah, 4-game losing streak. So it wasn't a good series for Houston, but looking at this game here between the Stros and the White Sox for Chicago, Chicago's, hey, they're a good team. They're a really good baseball team. They're 48-31 on the year. And again, one of my theories, I don't bet on bad teams, and that's why I won't bet on Minnesota because I don't bet on teams that have a record below 500. And they're 33-45 on the year. And if I were to play this one, I would have a small lean. And the price is right. What's the price? What's the latest price? I'm seeing 118. It could be a little bit different now. Let me see my latest line. I'm seeing minus 114. What do you guys got in this line? I'm seeing minus 118 on Chicago. And let me go downstairs to the stats. Hey, when I scroll the page, we'll call that going downstairs. So Chicago White Sox last 30 days at home, 11-5. So they're on a good little run here. 11-5 at home, 19-8 against right-handed pitchers. And I thought I saw something. No, maybe it was another game. Let me see here. For the Minnesota Twins, 0-4 coming off a 2-game losing streak. 3-7 coming off a road loss as an underdog. 8-3 during day games. That's interesting. So Minnesota likes a little bit of sunlight here. 8-3 in day games, and they're 1-2 against team with a winning percentage of 61 to 70% on the road this season, and they're 7-2 in the 3rd game of a series. Interesting stats right there. So what you're seeing right here, folks, is the Raymond Report, and this column here is the team record, and then this here is the league record. So in an instant like this, where I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins, in the 3rd game of a baseball series this season for Minnesota, they are 7-2 on the road this year, and this is the league average record. So any Major League Baseball road team, 3rd game of a series, 137 and 181. So it's too bad this wasn't a winning record because it would support this. So this is a little bit off when it comes to supporting this angle right here, right? So that's a losing percentage right there. That's a winning one. But again, I won't bet on bad teams. Where the White Sox, 8-4 in 3rd game of a series, and coming off a win. This is a bit disappointing, though. You would think, and I'm doing a study on baseball, and it'll be in one of my tip videos, teams that come off a win, you would think they would go on a 2, 3, or 4-game win streak, but for the Chicago White Sox, when they're coming off a home win or just a win, 16-4 in their next game, and when they're coming off a home win as a favorite, 13-11. So it's not a great win percentage right there. And if you look at division opponents at home for Chicago, they're averaging 5.6, giving up 3.2. And for Minnesota on the road, Minnesota on the road hanging there with their division opponents, right? 5.3 and 5.8 runs against, 4 and runs for against. So not bad at all. There's Some Solutions. How you doing, Some? Good evening. There's a little cheers right there. Twins have been hot. I feel like these teams are cycling in different direction. Yeah, you know what? They are, in fact, let me bring up another thing I want to show you guys something. The SBI, right? You know, I'm always looking at I look at the sports betting index like I do the stock market. And when I look at the SBI and I look at Major League Baseball, favorites are absolutely crushing it right now. Let me bring this over right here. So look at this. Remember I said, remember at the beginning of the year down here when all the underdogs were winning at this high clip right down here? And I said, just hang in there. You'll see the favorites. And here it is. The favorites, the last 2 months, 61.5%. And look at yesterday, the overs, 10-4 to the overs. But prior to yesterday, it was a lot of unders. If you look at the 7-day average on unders, 53.9, which is still neutral. It's not, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing that it's, something to be concerned about. I think we're still in a neutral market. So if you're going to fire away on over-unders, man, the bookmakers have done a good job balancing the number. 49.2 to the over, 50.8 to the under this season. So you can see there's really no, from a the macro point of view, when you look at the numbers from totals, there's really not an advantage when it comes to betting overs or unders. I think it's fairly balanced. Like last night, 10-4 to the over for the teams. And let me see, the favorites are on a good run right now. Look at that. They're on an 8-day streak. So if you're betting favorites right now, just be careful knowing that underdogs will have their day. And this is why anytime we're on a 7-day average and I see a bullish, I'll scale back my my units, because I just think that eventually, if you keep in the cycle, if you keep betting favorites or you keep sticking to what you're doing, and you are a favorite better, just knowing that the underdogs will start barking eventually, right? Especially after a night like the last couple nights, 11-3 here, 8-6, 8-2. You got to be careful because when you look at a baseball season is very long, right? And if you've been following some of the baseball handicappers at bullpenpicks.com, in fact, you know what? Let me go to Bullpen Picks. I'll show you guys my picks for today, what I got going. So this is our other website. And if you want my picks for free each and every day, go to bullpenpicks.com. My good friend Isaiah there. I think, what's his name? Eddie O. Eddie O. I don't know if you're there, Rui. If you're at the Bullpen Picks. So what you do is you make your selection. There's Musk down here. You make your selections, and then you follow the people who have winning records. Oh, Nicky Bats, I don't know what you're doing here. I'm sorry, Nicky, but I gotta get rid of you. At 385, I can't keep you on the roster, hey? And that's why you always want to follow winning picks. Hopefully, Nicky has a good sense of humor. Jerry, this guy here just popped out of nowhere. In game, Jerry D. Harris, and I'm gonna follow his picks today. See if he's got anything going. And no picks yet for Jerry. But yeah, so what you want to do is anybody with a at least you gotta have a minimum of 500 points, right? Because you can't be following losing picks because it'll sway you in the wrong direction. And what I like to do is I like to compare my picks to some of the hottest handicappers, and then it just validates what I've already went with. And I'm looking at today's game. So right now we're all on the Blue Jays. We're all on the White Sox. Let me see, Yankees, Boston. We all like Boston. Sometimes I get a little scared when we're all on the same time. I always like when somebody's a little different, right? This way, what's the old saying? When everybody's on one thing, what's to do? You go the other way. The golden rule of betting. When everybody's on one side, you go the other side. Chicago White Sox. Yep. Everybody's on Oakland. I like Miami. I do like Miami today. I like Pablo Lopez going today for the Marlins. He's 4-4 in a year, but he's on a bad team, right? Milwaukee. I'm on Milwaukee. Man, what a crazy game that was yesterday. Chicago Cubs. I got a feeling when you look back in the season and you pinpoint that one point where it all went downhill, I think it was yesterday at Miller Park. That was awful. How do you go up 7-0 and then poop the bed the rest of the way and then you lose 15-7? A lot of high-scoring games yesterday. That was a crazy, crazy day in baseball. That's why all the overs were hitting yesterday, right? 10-4. Eh? I think Milwaukee covered 2 overs yesterday alone. Them and what do you call them? The the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves scoring 20 runs on the Jets. The Mets. That was crazy, that game. 20-5 or something like that, the final score, right? Isaiah, Mike Fa, who you're betting today? Yeah, Isaiah, who do you got today? So Isaiah likes, so Isaiah is right here. Where is he? I thought I was following you here. Let me see here. Where's Isaiah? There he is. All right, I'll bring up Isaiah here. Put you on the roster there, Isaiah. So there's Isaiah's picks here today. So if you're watching in the bullpen, Isaiah Moore, he's right here, Eisen 502. And let me see, he's got the Blue Jays, White Sox, A's. He's like the Marlins. Hey, we're all, we got the same picks so far. Yeah, we got, except for one different, Isaiah. I like Colorado, you like St. Louis. So you like Wainwright, and I like Antonio Sensatella today for the Colorado Rockies. And so that's one of the tools that I like to use here at bullpenpicks.com. And again, if you follow some of the people in the chat room and the bullpen here, then you can see who they have going, right? But come to this game, I do like the White Sox here today. All right, is there any games you guys want me to handicap right now? Just throw a game out there, and I'll bring up the Rain Report stats, and I'll break down that game for you. So just let me know which game would you guys like me to break down today. Again, starting next month, we'll be going Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday, Blue Jays it is. So we're all on the Blue Jays, but they're down 3-1 right now in the second inning. So we'll see if the Hyunjin Ryu can throw some strikes here eventually. Which other games would you guys like me to break down today? Is there any other games you guys feel? You know what? Let me take a look here. I think the Atlanta-New York Mets game would be a good one here, right? Jacob deGrom against Ian Anderson. I think that's a pretty good game. Marlins-Philly. All right, Obi Lund wants Marlins-Philly. Let's go to that one. And I'll get back to that one in a second. Let's go Florida and Miami against Philadelphia. All right, so you got Jacob deGrom going here today. What happened there? Nope, sorry. Pablo Lopez, sorry. 8-8. So when Lopez goes for the Marlins, they're 8-8. And let me go check. So Pablo Lopez on the road this season, when he's not pitching at home at, Lone Depot Field. 4.10 ERA, 1.3 whip, 37 innings pitched. He's 2-1, 8 strikeouts to 9 innings. He's 8.9, so almost a 1 strikeout per inning. And he's got 2 walks per game. So not too bad for Pablo Lopez. And keep in mind, he's on a bad team, right? Zach Eflin going here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, Eflin hasn't had a winning decision and going back to May 7th. He hasn't had a win to his name since May 7th. So I do like Miami here today. And if you look at my pick, I'm pretty right there. In fact, so does Isaiah. So does Ovens and Michael. Justin here, game picks, he does like Eflin. And Muss is also on the Miami Marlins. So I think the Marlins getting plus 105 or something like that, 113 is good value today if you want to bet on the Miami Marlins. You got a good pitcher, but looking at the Phillies, 3-7 in their last 10. The line value is minus 183 and they're 123. So they're way undervalued here today. So you're getting good value if you like Philly, but keep in mind 3-7 in their last 10. The chance of winning does favor Miami at 62%. And looking at some of the line moves, 8-11. So when Philly's at home against a team below 500, they're only 8-11, right? And anytime you're at home and you're facing a team below 500, you should win that game. You should win that game, and they're not winning those games. They're below 50%. That's why I say all the time, you can't bet on bad teams and expect good things to happen, right? It's just not a good thing. A road underdog. So for Miami on the season this year, as a road underdog, they're 14-25. They're 4-6 in their last 10, 5-10 in their last 15, averaging 4 runs for. They just got to do better on the bullpen here. 5 runs against in the last 3. But keep in mind, let me see, 11-6 was the final yesterday, 4-3, then 5-1. The Nationals. Nationals one of the hottest teams right now. They did a number on Tampa Bay yesterday. So let me take a look here at the Marlins the last 30 days. 4-11. They got to do a little bit better than that. I thought the Phillies, though, I thought I saw something this morning. Maybe not. It was there was one team I know they didn't do good against left-handed pitchers, but Lopez, a right-handed pitcher, 7-5 in their last 30, 4-2, 8-2 in the third game of a series. So not bad. The numbers aren't too bad for Philly, but again, I just don't trust. I just think the better pitcher is Pablo Lopez in this one, and I will. I'll bet on I won't bet because I'll pick him at bullpen, but because they're a team below 500, I won't wager on them. All right. Okay, let me see here. I like the Mariners. Isaiah, Dodgers, Mets. That's who you got today. All right, so let me take a look at Rockies. Let me take a look at the Rockies game. Colorado, St. Louis. Since that's the game we got different there, Isaiah. Let me see here. St. Louis against Colorado. So Adam Wainwright's going to go here today for St. Louis Cardinals. And let me take a Wainwright's record on the road this season. And let me pull up the stats here. Wainwright, 6-5 with a 3.59 ERA. And when he's not pitching at, I don't know if it's still called Busch Stadium, but 6.31 ERA on the road and 2.5 at home. So Wainwright, bit of a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher. He's 2.5 ERA with a whip of 0.97, but not a good ERA, especially when you're pitching at Coors Field. Tonight, 6.31 ERA and a 1.52 a whip. But the good thing with Wainwright, he does have a good strikeout ratio, 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. So pretty good strikeout ratio here for Adam Wainwright. And he's going up against Antonio Senzatella today for the Colorado Rockies. And that's Senzatella, 2-7, not having a good year. But the one thing with Senzatella, he's pitching better at Coors. On the road, he's got an ERA of 6.35, but at Coors Field, 3.91, whip of 1.2, and 2-3 at Coors. But he's got to do a better job. And but you got a team that's struggling, right? St. Louis, I can't trust St. Louis these days. The St. Louis Cardinals have just been so inconsistent. Let me go check their record here. And where is it? The last 15 games, 7-8, 4-6 in their last 10. And Colorado, the one thing with Colorado, right? They're Jekyll and Hyde. They're when they're at Coors, they're 28-16, and when they're on the road, 6-31. They are the best fade on the road. Them and the Bucks, right? The Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, I don't. Colorado at home, 28-16. Let me see here. They're what tonight? They're a home. What's the line? They're home underdog. So this year as a home underdog, 16-11 as a home dog, which is good, right? Because normally if you're an underdog, you probably don't have a winning record. But Colorado, 16-11, averaging 5.67 runs as a home dog compared to 6 as a home favorite. So if you round that off, that's 6. But the pitching, 4.5. And look at that road underdog, 6-30 on the year. That's awful. Let me see St. Louis. So St. Louis, let me see if there's anything here. And I like to compare with the league average. They're 3-1 on a 3-game win streak. And 4-9 on the road against a team with a 41 to 50% win percentage. And when they're facing a team below 500 on the road, they're 10-9. But look at this. Look at Colorado. When they're at home against a team below 500, see 14-5, and that's what you expect. If you're a bad team like Colorado is, you got to win your home games, and especially the home games where you're, if you're a favorite, most likely you got to win. But if you're at home and you're facing teams below 500, so teams that the beatables I call, you got to beat the beatables, and I think that they are beating the beatables right now. There's Jermaine Brown. How you doing, Jermaine? Rocky's been good at home. So I do like Colorado, and we'll see Isaiah. Hey, we'll see who else is on Colorado. Evans, MB, and Muss. So we'll see what happens in that contest here today. All right, Colorado's have been good to Isaiah. Home as a favorite. Not betting them this game, and then I don't trust the Cardinals, but they would be in the start of a decent cycle. Yeah, but the thing with St. Louis. You look at their cycle, and they go on a 3-game win streak and then a 4-game losing streak, right? Let me see here. Let me bring up their. I don't think you guys can see that, the pop-up. I'll just do it here. So they won that game 7-4. Then they lose. They win 3-2. They beat Arizona. Everybody's beating Arizona. then Pirates 7-2, then 3-1, then 5-4, then 8-2 loss, and then they lost to the Tigers. They lost to the Tigers, and then lost to the Braves. So yeah, you know what? You just can't trust St. Louis right now, and that's why I say you can't bet on bad teams. All right, what other game would you guys like me to do? Texans, Oakland, looking like a dog here. So there's Lord Ula. All right, Lord Ula, let's go to that game. Let's go get Oakland, Texas and Oakland. And that is what, an afternoon start? Yep, 3:37. And you got starting pitcher for Texas, Dane Dunning. Now, Dane Dunning, when he starts for Texas, they're 3-12 on the year. And when you look at Dunning's ERA on the season, in fact, Dane Dunning is 3-6 with a 4.63 ERA. And let me bring up the Texas game right here. And now this is an afternoon game today in Oakland. I don't know if it's a getaway day. It might be a getaway day for Texas. In fact, I just did a video on one of my tips on getaway day, which will be released on July 7th here on the Raymond Report. FYI right there. Looking at Texas, so Dane Dunning, another Jekyll and Hyde pitcher. When he's at home, he's got an ERA of 2.6, and when he's on the road, 7.45, a whip of 1.86, 0-4 so far on the season, and he's up against Sean Manaea of the Oakland Athletics. Sean is 6-4 in the year, 2.91 ERA, and looking at his home starts this year, 2.82 ERA, 1.1 whip, and 4-1, and strikeout per 9 innings, 8.6, and 1.8 walks. So, you know what? When I look at Dane Dunning, 3.1 walks per 9 innings. So, you know, walks will get you in trouble, right? You start loading up and start walking players in a big inning. It's tough. I do like Oakland in this one, but what's the line? What's the latest line here? And let me see here. Oakland's 4-6 in the last 10. Minus 148 was my number, and it's 168, so a bit overvalued. And when Oakland's at home against team below 500, 17-8. And when Texas on the road against those teams that are 50 to 59.9 in the standings, 3-13. So not a good record here for Texas against those middle of the pack teams, right? Let's take a look at Texas here. 5-9 on the road against lefties. 2-13 when they're coming off a loss versus a right-handed pitcher. They're 2-14 the last 45 days on the road. That's not too encouraging right there. When I see that, and that's why I always say, that's why when you bet on bad teams and you expect good things to happen, all you got to do is look at that and say, and then you ask yourself, why did I bet that team? Well, they're 2-14 in their last 45 days. So, you know, that's why if you just, you got to determine what kind of bettor are you? Are you an action junkie or are you a sports investor, right? If you're an action junkie, you're betting probably Texas, you're betting this game. But if you're a sports investor, you're picking your spots. And if you want to make money at sports betting, you know, sometimes it's like the stock market. You can't be buying stocks every day, right? You got to pick your spots. That's why NFL is it's the king of sports, is because it's once a week, and that's where you can make your money. You know, pro bettors and pro gamblers will tell you all the time, you know, betting baseball is one of the toughest sports to do because to win at is because every weekend or every 3-4 days, it's like a weekend in football. You get a new series, right? And then there's a new mindset, a new cycle of teams facing other teams. And it's I think if you're going to use analytics for one sport, it has to be baseball because of the rotation of the schedule. And you know, you look at NFL football, you know, your every weekend is a new opponent, and you look at baseball, it's 3 games, 4 game series, 2 game series, you know, home dogs, home favorites, afternoon games. There's so much analytics, but the thing is, you got to cut your schedule in half when you got the daily rotation. And this is why when I can do my picks within 5 minutes just looking at today's sheet, right? I can just look and I'll eliminate all those C-type teams, and then when I look at the A's and B's of the teams in baseball that are you know, the teams that are above 50%, I go find cycles of teams that I should be betting. And you know, analytics play a bit of a part, but there's situational handicapping where you got to have a sixth sense of handicapping and knowing, you know, your eyes are your prize, right? You got to be a self-scouting evaluator of talent. You got to watch games. The one thing I always got to say in sports betting, you got to watch the games. If you're not watching games, you're not picking up the little things, right? And they always say, you know, take care of the little things and the bigger things will take care of themselves. All right, what else we got here, folks? I don't trust the Cardinals. I'm not touching this game. So, yeah, so we're talking about Oakland. Again, I do like Oakland here today. Coming off that, let me see, last night was a win. What was the final of that game? I know Texas won the first one, right? Let me see here. Texas was a 5-4 win for Texas in the first game. So this is the rubber match of a 2-3. And I think do they have another game on deck? So what's the next game on deck? So it's a getaway day for both these teams. In fact, Oakland's staying home. They got Boston. And then Texas going to Seattle. So it is getaway day for Texas. And they are not a favorite. And you know what? I just did a video, again, on the Raymond Report. Everything is fresh because I just did that getaway tape. I'll give you a little bit of an insight on that tip, number 7, on getaway day for baseball. The myth is when you look at baseball and you look at getaway day, the sports betting myth is that, you want to bet against these getaway teams, especially if they're going home, right? If a team is on getaway day and they're going back home, you want to bet against those teams. But the thing I've noticed in the numbers is that you got to keep an eye out on favorites and the over. You'll believe it or not, and you'll see in that video what I did on tip number 7. You would think the under would be the way to go, but the over has some good value there. All right, let me take a look here at this game. A day game. Texas 2-5 in day games on the road. 5-15 coming off a road loss as an underdog, and they're 5-20 coming off a loss this season. And you know what? The Oakland Athletics, they don't lose too many back-to-back games, right? So you saw that in game 1. They lost to Texas. What was it? 5-4, a 1-run loss, and then they won last night with Bassett going, and now they got Sean Manaea. So they got a good starter. It's just, I think it's a 170 price tag is a bit hefty, but I do like it. And, if you're going to bet this. And the thing is, I used to have this rule in baseball where I wouldn't lay over 150. But, you know what? A unit's a unit. And if you have a lot of confidence in making that wager and winning that bet, if you're going to spend, $500 on Tesla for one stock, why wouldn't you spend 150 on Oakland for that same stock, right? It's all mindset. It's all mindset and how do you win your units. Any other games you got want me to look at? Well, what did I see there? Let me see. Oakland. What's Oakland during the day game? 5-2 at home, a day game. Look at Oakland. 17-3 coming off a win as a favorite. This is why I like betting on good teams. When winners win and they're 9-2 at home in the last 30 days, that makes you kind of feel kind of good, right? All right. Any other games, guys? If not, that'll be a wrap today for a Thursday. No, today, it is Thursday. Yeah, live stream every Thursday. Again, to all our Canadian fans, happy Canada Day, and on July 4th will be Independence Day, so happy 4th to all our American friends south of the border. Hopefully everybody's having a safe time. Hopefully everybody's okay. And again, my name is Ron Raymond. I am a sports handicapper located here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I've been doing this since 1996. I'm the founder of the World Series of Handicapping Pro Football Contest, which is going in season number 10. In fact, if you haven't joined yet, a lot of time, right? You only got 2 months to go. But keep in mind, this year, the first place prize will be $1,500 and the World Series Handicapping ring. Hey, win the prize, win the bling. Hey, the bling in the ring. And $750 for second, $500 for the third place. And if you go 7-0 during the week, you win $50 courtesy of the World Series of Handicapping Pro Football Contest, season number 10. Always a good time, and can't wait to get going again this year. All right, folks, there you have it. That is the Raymond Report for a Thursday, full Friday. That's what we call a Thursday, a full Friday, because, it feels like a Friday, but it's really a Thursday, so that's why I call it a full Friday. All right, Dodger game. Is that what you asked me, Jermaine, to look at the Dodger game? All right, let me go look at that Dodger game for Jermaine. Where's the Dodgers? Dodgers and Washington. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be a great game. You got Gonsolin up against Patrick Corbin, right? This will be a great, great baseball game today. You got a team like the Nationals who are hot, 8-2 in the last 10. Dodgers finally turned it around here, 6-4 in their last 10. 2-6-2 to the under. So a lot of low-scoring games for the Dodgers. But you got to, Gonsolin, I think he's a bullpen pitcher. And sometimes he'll get the starting assignments, right? And let me see here. So He's 4-0. He's 4-0 when he goes for the Dodgers as a starter. Now, he's not 4-0. The team is 4-0 in Gonsolin starts. And Patrick Corbin, 9-7 for the Nationals. And looking at the chances of winning the percentage play, very low. So the lower high goes to Washington at 24%. LA is on a 5-game win streak. Now here's I just noticed that 2-6. I wish I would have saw that this morning. I don't know if it would have changed my mind, but I do like the Dodgers here today, and that's because of Gonsolin, because they're 4-0 when he starts, and you're getting good value at 135, right? My line, I had him at 178, and you are getting their line here today at minus 135. So pretty good value here, but you're facing a team like the Nationals, who are on a 4-game win streak. So, the Tampa Bay just didn't look really good. But Tampa Bay is going through some pitching hiccups right now, right? They can't keep their pitching staff healthy right now. So the Dodgers, coming off a win, are 15-9 on the road. They're 7-5 in the last 30 days on the road. Not a great record, but you know what? I do like the Dodgers here today. And Washington, well, we'll see what Washington can do. They're 2-3 against teams that have a 61 to 70% win percentage. They're 11-4 at home. So be careful today if you do like the Dodgers, because Washington is hot. But I cannot. Two things. I like the value. I think we're getting good value on the Dodgers. You got a good baseball team on a 5-game win streak, and they're 21-18 on the road, and they are over 500 at 49-31 on the year. And I do like LA here today. All right, yes, Scotty Bear, my good friend Scotty Bear says sign up at the World Series of Handicapping. Why not wait and just sign up today, so this way you don't forget. It's $25, folks. $25. You're into the contest. It's a pro football contest, season number 10, and why not sign up today at the World Series of Handicapping Pro Football Contest, season number 10. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys coming here each and every Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'll be back next Thursday on the live stream. And again, love doing these shows with you guys. And I want to thank Jermaine, Isaiah. I want to thank Lord Ula. I want to thank Scotty Bear, my buddy Scotty Bear, who's always here. Mike Fa, Some Solution, Rui Pedro Nogueira from Portugal. Always good to talk to you, Rui. And who else? Did I miss anybody here? Matthew M. at the beginning. And everybody who shows up, I appreciate you guys. And again, sorry, Raymond, Cincinnati Reds game. Hey, just while he's out the door, can you just check this game, Raymond? Hey, okay, let me check that game for you, buddy. San Diego, Cincinnati. I do like San Diego in this game. Right away, I can tell you I like Cincinnati. Ryan Weather is going to go here against Luis Castillo. And Castillo, this is why I don't like Cincinnati. Castillo's been, there's a little saying hit and miss. Well, he's miss and miss. He's been missing in action this year. 4-12 when he starts this year for the Reds. And let me take a look at his home record right now for Cincinnati. And Mr. Luis Castillo, he had a pretty good year last year. Not a great year, but it wasn't this bad, right? In fact, last season at home, he had an ERA of 2.05 at home. Compared to this year, where it's 4.89, 5.40 on the road. He's 2-5 at home. He's getting 1 strikeout per inning, but his walks, he's got 4 walks per 9 innings. That is not very good. And then you got Ryan Weathers here going today for the Padres. And when Weather goes this season, he's 2.28 ERA, 0.989 WHIP, and he's 23.2 innings pitched on the road, 2-1. And you got to get his strike upset a bit, though. He's at 7.6 per 9 on strikeouts. So San Diego's hot right now. Look at this, 9-1 in the last 10. The percentage play does favor Cincinnati at 59%. And looking at their record, they're 6-7 against teams below 500. See, when I look at a record like this, that tells me they don't take these teams serious, right? So they're beating all the good teams, but when they get to teams below 500 on the road, they're just squeaking by at 6-7. Not even squeaking. You're not even 500, right? But Cincinnati, again, losing last night, 7-5 to Musgrove and company. And this is the let me see here. So they can so the Padres won 5-4 and then 7-5. Yeah, it could be a sweep here today. And let me see. I thought I saw Cincinnati, versus lefties, 4-6, and thought there was something else here I saw. Maybe not. Let me take a look at the Padres coming off a win, 10-9. So they have trouble winning back-to-back games on the road this season, only 10-9. But yeah, to me, it's mostly a play against Castillo, and I do like San Diego. All right, thank you, Ray. Great show. First time tuning in. Watch you. Catch you next week. All right, Lordula, appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody who is new to the Raymond Report. To me, I think we're the best kept secret on the internet and the sports betting industry. Not a lot of people know about this show, so spread the word, to hit the share like button. And again, hey, you know what? The thing is, whenever you run a business, we all like home runs, but I keep telling all my friends in the industry, just keep hitting singles. Those singles lead to doubles. Those doubles lead to triples, and your home run will eventually come. Even if it's an inside the ballpark home run, we'll get there one pitch at a time, and one bat at a time, and one walk at a time. No, we don't want to walk anybody. We want to strike everybody out, right? All right, there you go, folks. That is the Raymond Show. The Raymond Report for a Thursday, July 1st. Happy Canada Day to all my friends again. And we'll see you back here next Thursday on the Raymond Report. Cheers.